The first time my daughter-in-law called me a servant, she didn't know I owned 3 countries' worth of silence. Her voice cracked through my phone speaker. Sharp, disrespectful, confident. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. Laughter echoed behind her. Plates clinked. Someone muttered something about the old parasite. My thumb rested on the screen. For a long moment, I said nothing. Strange how betrayal doesn't always arrive with a scream. Sometimes it arrives with laughter, sometimes with dishes. I leaned back in the leather chair on the balcony of my Swiss villa. Snow wrapped the mountains like quiet witnesses. They thought I was poor. They thought I was disgraced. They thought prison had broken me. And the most fascinating part? My wife believed it most of all. 5 years ago, she had stood in a courtroom and watched soldiers drag me away in handcuffs, accused of selling classified military intelligence. Treason. My own wife testified. Her lover, the decorated officer beside her, testified too. They said I sold my country for money. The jury believed them. Everyone did. I looked at the Alps glowing beneath the afternoon sun. My phone buzzed again. My daughter-in-law's voice dripped with mock sweetness. So, are you coming to wash the dishes? I smiled. A small, quiet smile. Enjoy Thanksgiving, I said. Then I hung up and posted the photos. 5 years earlier, my life ended with applause, not celebration. Applause for justice. At least that's what they called it. I remember standing in that courtroom while cameras flashed like lightning. My wife sat in the witness chair. Elegant, controlled, convincing. She cried when she described the moment she discovered my betrayal. Her voice trembled. Her hand held that officer's sleeve like a lifeline. I watched them, not with anger, with curiosity, because something didn't fit. My wife had always loved money more than people, luxury more than loyalty, and the officer beside her, Captain Daniel Reeves, decorated, ambitious, too ambitious. Their eyes met too often. Their hands brushed too naturally. The jury didn't see it, but I did. Then came the evidence. Bank transfers, secret meetings, encrypted files supposedly sent from my account. $500,000, my price for treason. The judge called it a betrayal of the nation. The prison guards called me a traitor. My wife called it justice. But the strangest moment came as they led me away. I looked at her. She looked at me. And for half a second, she smiled. Not relief, not sadness. A quiet little smile that said, "We won." That was when the storm began inside my head. Because I knew something my wife didn't. The accounts they showed in court, they were fake. The transfers, fabricated. But whoever created them had done it well. Almost perfectly. Almost. And my wife was never that smart. Prison is a strange gift. It strips everything away. Pride, comfort, noise. What remains is time. 5 years of time. Time to think. Time to analyze. Time to rebuild a story everyone else had already accepted. I began with the officer. Daniel Reeves. Decorated. Fast promotions. Sudden wealth. Too sudden. The prison library computers were slow, but not useless. Records surfaced quietly. Property purchases. Luxury cars. Investment funds. All appearing 6 months after my arrest. Interesting, but still circumstantial. Then there was my wife. She sold our house within 3 months of my conviction. Moved to a coastal property. Expensive. Far beyond the lifestyle she supposedly lost. Another puzzle piece. But the real crack in their story appeared in a military procurement archive. A document timestamp. The encrypted file they claimed I sent to foreign agents had been downloaded from a classified server 2 hours after the time. They said I transmitted it, meaning one thing: someone inside the military accessed it. Someone with clearance. Someone like Daniel Reeves. I felt something cold settle inside my chest. Not rage. Precision. I contacted an old friend after my release. A financial ghost. The kind of man who hides money for governments. Because here was the truth my wife never knew. The fortune I built before prison wasn't in my name. Not officially. Billions move silently when they're designed to. By the time my investigation finished, the entire picture was clear. My wife didn't betray me for love. She betrayed me for $500,000. A cheap price. Even cheaper when you consider what she tried to steal. My life. The final proof arrived in a single file. Bank records, private messages, transfers between Reeves and my wife, payment for cooperation, $500,000, half paid before the trial, half promised after conviction. I stared at the screen for a long time. 5 years of prison, 5 years of humiliation, sold for the price of a mediocre apartment. When I finally called my wife, she answered cautiously. My number still made her nervous. "What do you want?" she asked. No warmth, no regret, just irritation. "I found something," I said calmly. Silence. Then a laugh. "You're still pretending you're innocent?" "I never pretend." Another pause. Then I sent the file. Seconds passed. Her breathing changed. Sharp. Unsteady. How did you... I interrupted softly. "Tell Daniel I said hello." She didn't speak again. The line went dead. Thanksgiving morning. My phone lit up with insults. Mockery. Family messages. Apparently, my wife had spent years telling them I was a broke traitor living off pity, which made the timing perfect. I posted 7 photos. The villa. The marble terraces. The infinity pool overlooking the Alps. My private wine cellar. The snow-covered gardens stretching across 10 acres. And one simple caption. "Freedom suits me." Then I turned my phone face down. The first call came 2 minutes later. Then another. Then 10. Then dozens. By the time I checked again, the number read 71 missed calls. My daughter-in-law. My son. My wife. Unknown numbers. Probably lawyers. Probably police. Because while they were panicking, my attorney had already delivered the evidence. Military prosecutors reopened the case. Daniel Reeves was arrested 2 days later. Conspiracy, evidence fabrication, espionage fraud. And my wife? Accessory to treason. 15 years. The judge didn't smile when he said it. But I did. Just a little. I never answered the 71st call. Or the 72nd. Or the 100th. From my balcony in Switzerland, the mountains remain silent. They don't judge. They don't gossip. They simply exist, like truth. People always assume revenge is loud, violent, emotional. But the most devastating revenge is something else entirely. It's patience. It's silence. It's letting someone destroy themselves while believing they already won. My wife traded a lifetime for $500,000, a terrible investment, because the moment she testified against me, she sold the wrong man. And tonight, as the sun disappears behind the Alps, I raise a glass of wine to the quiet, to freedom, and to the simple truth she learned too late. The most dangerous man in the room is the one everyone believes is already defeated.